You're about to listen to a Gaming Stooges podcast with your regularly scheduled Stooges.
I'm Jack.
The internet calls me Cloud.
And I'm Landon.
We hope you enjoyed today's discussion, and if you do, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, following us on Twitch, or joining our Discord. Let's get on with the show.
Hi, folks. It's a variety episode. Wild card entry. We have two games we really wanted to review today, and something happened before we could get to the recording for this, so that's just going to get thrown in after. I guess Sony talked about games, but we have to talk about other games first. So, we streamed quite recently Super Mario Bros. Wonder, the new 2D Mario game for the Nintendo Switch, released on October 20th, 2023. And yeah, what was our first stream for that? Was that like, it wasn't the same day. It was like...
Was like the week after.
The week after?
Something like that.
It didn't take us that long, but it did take us like a day or two.
It was just revealed in Nintendo's quarterly report that the game sold almost 12 million units.
That's a shitload.
It seems very low.
And that is just between its launch and the end of December. So that's pretty good, actually.
First VOD went public on November 20th, but I know it was before that. I couldn't tell you when, though.
Yeah, so Super Mario Bros. Wonder is the new 2D Mario game. It's in the same style as, not really, well, visually speaking, it's got a new style to it, but mechanically speaking, it's pretty much a follow-up to the new Super Mario Bros. Games, but drastically different in its execution. And it has a ton. How many playable characters? There's like, what, 5 Yoshis? 4 Yoshis? There's one character for Landon.
There's one playable character.
And her name is Daisy.
Not even Toadette?
There is 1.5 playable characters.
Toadette is the character that you like, alright, fine, I guess I'll play as Toadette, when I'm like, come on, Landon, let me be Daisy.
Fine.
But yeah, you've got...
It's like...
Oh, go ahead.
Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy...
Yeah, so you have
Berry and Alagold.
I was going to say, you have your 4 staples from the new Super Mario Bros. Games returning, which are Mario, Luigi, Berry, Alagold, the 2 colored toads. And then...
I said that.
Yeah, no, I was trying to organize it better.
I was just naming them in my head as they appear on the character select screen, which is...
That is true.
Following the princesses.
They threw those in the middle, and then it goes...
Toadette.
And then all of the
20 Yoshis.
There's I think it's like 4
Nabbit,
5 Yoshis.
and then like 5 Yoshis.
Yeah.
I think Nabbit's the last one on the character.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Nabbit. Yeah, because they put Yoshis and Nabbit at the end because they actually play a little bit differently. They don't get power-ups, and Nabbit can't die unless you like throw him in a pit.
None of them can die.
Yeah. All the Yoshis and Nabbit cannot take damage, but they cannot.
Which is kind of
receive power-ups.
Which is like kind of a small, like very minor nitpick I have with the game. I kind of wish the difficulty was just a thing you could turn on and off instead of like it's relegated to these characters specifically. It's like maybe I want to play as Yoshi, but I mean I could, but it's baby mode, so I don't want to.
Speaking of it, difficulty, Landon actually had shared a video in the Discord server, join our Discord plug, that was about like the way that they design Mario games based on difficulty. And Mario Wonder
from Game Maker's Toolkit.
Yep, and Mario Wonder was like a really nice case study of how they try not to make it like a forced interface thing. That's why they have stuff like the characters varying and like how difficult they are like that. So it's a lot more like under the hood. So like a child that might be picking it up, like they're not confused by anything. They can just be like, oh, I like the colored Yoshi, and then they can like pick the colored Yoshi if they want, and it makes the game easier.
I mean, the game also just tells you that, like, this is the easy portion of the character select screen. These are the real ones.
Which I think is cleaner, though, that way, though, right? I know your argument was that you'd rather, like, have, like, characters independent of difficulty.
Switch.
But, like...
I mean...
I feel like the way that they do it is clean enough.
I mean, even just, like, an unlockable option to play as, like, Yoshi in a normal context would have been nice, but I guess then they would have had to program, like, all of the power-ups to the characters specifically.
I think that's the bigger issue, is how do you make Elephant Yoshi?
Right.
I feel like you could very easily make Elephant Yoshi. They just need to design it.
Nintendo couldn't.
All right, well, you designed Elephant Yoshi then, Jack.
Let's see some Elephant Yoshi fan art.
Give us a post and share your projects channel on the Discord server.
Oh, man.
Show us how the progress.
I can't draw. Don't look at me.
The middle third of this is going to be void of you anyway. You'll have plenty of time to draw your Elephant Yoshi and your Bubble Yoshi and your Fire Flower Yoshi.
All right.
And your Drill Yoshi.
All right, Landon.
Hi.
So, speaking of difficulty, we can start talking about the gameplay overall. And there's... I mean, Jack, you said it on the VODs, or in the live stream when we were doing it. How you feel about the overall difficulty. I'd actually like more like elaborate thoughts, but I know that you've talked about it a bit, but...
What are you referring to specifically that I said?
So you had mentioned that like the pacing for the difficulty was like, you know, nice and smooth for the most part. Nothing's like too hard. And then all of a sudden that last level.
Oh, yeah.
But like, I do want to hear more of your thoughts on like the rest of the game, not just that last level, but you can talk about that too.
I mean, overall, I feel like in terms of, let's just ignore the final level for now, because it's, you know, it's optional. You don't need to beat it to beat the game, just to complete the game. But I feel like it's a pretty, like, I don't want to say by the numbers, but just like... Standard difficulty for a Mario game. Like, nothing feels too, like, crazy difficult. Like, even the Star World, like, there were a couple levels that were, like, pretty tricky. Like, I feel like each one of us had, like, one specific level in the Star World that we individually struggled with. But for the most part, like, it wasn't too bad.
I think it was pretty fair difficulty, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely never felt like it was really hard.
But it did at least ask a little bit of you and, like, expect you to... No, I'm just saying, like, just to, like, fill in the blanks. It's like, it's not like it's a snooze fest on difficulty either.
I was gonna say, I'll say that I never felt like the game was too easy. Like, I wouldn't call it a hard game, but, like, I would say it's maybe on, like, slightly on the easy side of average, but not that that's a bad thing. I mean, I would say it's a more difficult game than, like, Super Mario Galaxy. So, if that's any indication that difficulty really isn't that much of an issue, but, like, it's a solid level of difficulty throughout the game, I would say.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, and it has, like, a good, like, progression of challenge with each new world.
And I think they balanced the more difficult levels pretty well. For the most part, you're not going to see, like, the really hard levels unless you go out of your way. Because here's the thing. The world maps are a lot less linear than in prior games. Like, they already had some world maps that were not super linear. Like, you had branching choices of where you could go next. But Mario Wonder really opens that up. And you can at times just find yourself with like 3, 4, 5, 6 different options of what level to play next. But the hardest ones are usually like aside for if you've already done a slightly less challenging level, then it'll be like, okay, the player can handle that. So like they pick and chose like the difficult stuff pretty well, I would say. So if you're going out of your way to actually play the harder levels and be a completionist, like Landon and Jack were aiming for, you would be introduced to the difficulty curve in a nice, smooth arc, basically.
Yeah, I would say so.
And that also just goes for the wider levels as a whole, just like the world's level progression. You do generally get the nice, smooth increase, and the slightly more challenging levels are near the end of the game.
Do you have any thoughts on the difficulty of the game, Landon?
I enjoy that they just tell you the relative difficulty of the levels flat out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously that's not going to be everyone's, like, there were some 5-star levels that were like,
not that
oh,
bad.
Okay.
And then some 3-star levels that were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, a little bit trickier, especially if you're going for
all the 10ers.
All the 10-star. Yeah. It's kind of hard to gauge whether or not when they were doing the difficulty ratings, if they were incorporating completing it in one run in mind or not. I'm on the side that they were probably not doing the difficulty for that so much as difficulty for just beating the level.
Yeah. I agree.
But no, I think overall the game is well paced. I do like how the back half, the last 4 worlds, or 3, sorry, you can take on in any order.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't. We just did them by number, because...
Which felt like the natural progression of difficulty anyway, so...
But if you wanted to skip ahead, because you can.
Yeah, you can.
Which is nice.
It was kind of like Sonic Colors in that regard, where like you had, 1 level, then you had, 2 more, then you had 3 more. You can kind of branch out from there. And each tier is generally like a kind of equal difficulty. I thought that was pretty cool. Let's just segue right into gameplay in general. I did mention that we have a much more open world map. We've mentioned there are some power-ups. There's some new power-ups. Elephant Mario, Elephant Mushroom. Isn't a mushroom? I don't even know.
Elephant.
Yeah, it is a mushroom.
The elephant power-up is a new one. There was...
I think it's a fruit.
It's a fruit.
Oh, right.
That's right.
That's right, yeah.
It's like a fruit.
You have that. You have quite a few of the returning power-ups. How did you guys feel about the power-up lineup?
I thought overall it was really good.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah.
I liked pretty much all of the new power-ups. Sometimes they were like a little bit situational, but I feel like in a lot of cases, like if you were given a power-up for a specific level, then you are going to get some use out of it. Like, a drill isn't necessarily going to be useful in every level you play, but like the levels that give you the drill will probably, you're gonna get some use out of it.
Yeah. I felt Bubble and Elephant were definitely like all-rounders.
Yeah. Like I was gonna say I really like
those
Bubble.
Wherever.
The Bubble power is one of the new ones, and it's just super versatile. I really enjoyed that one.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, all 3 of the new power-ups were like solid additions to the roster.
Yeah.
And
and I think the badge system was really cool too.
Yeah, so 2 things that they really kind of added into Mario Wonder that we hadn't really seen before is badges, which are a supplement to your base move set. You attach a badge and you'll have some sort of bonus. Sometimes it's a movement option that you don't usually have access to. Sometimes it augments the way that you control. And then sometimes it just augments like the things you might encounter in levels, like getting more coins or something like that. So there was a ton of different badges. And as well as badges, we saw 2. So you have your usual obstacle course style levels in Mario Wonder, but they also added new levels that are specifically for these badges, as well as levels that are like just kind of mini game style levels. They're not like actual mini games. They are levels that are like mini games, and I thought that was really cool way to like add more content while not having to make a full level, because you had like arenas where you could pick your power-ups and try to beat the level as fast as you could. You'd have ones where you had to try to find the coins, and depending on what power-ups you brought or what badges you might bring to the table, that might help you get the coins faster. And then of course badge challenges where you would test your ability to use a specific badge to get to the end of the stage. So there's a bunch of different like extra like kind of side levels with those different kind of styles to them. So how do we feel about that kind of system where they added like these little side mini game-ish levels and then the regular levels aside?
It's good. I think it's a cool like break from the regular like normal length levels. Like, because in New Super Mario Brothers, just to make a comparison, you would often just get like, oh, here's a mushroom house that has a power-up in it. Ooh, here's a mushroom house where you can like maybe get some one-ups that shoot out of a cannon. But that's it. They're not like any more fleshed out than just like a single room that gives you a gift. But this, like the way that they do it in Wonder, is like they add these like small challenges that kind of like not break up the pace, but just kind of like pad out the game a little bit. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but just like a
flesh it
kind
out.
of make the game flesh it out. Yeah, like make
I would
the
say
game
they break up the pace because you do like you're going from like standard levels. You do like a couple of those, and then it's like a break. It's literally like
they're call
literally
it that.
called
break times.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like literally giving you a break from the normal stuff.
Yeah.
While still playing the game.
Yeah. And it's great.
And I think they're a great replacement for another thing that Jack didn't mention is in previous Mario 2D games like this, you'd have like enemy arena-ish levels, but they were like super very, very fast, done very quickly. Like in Mario 3 was like the first introduction of them, where you just have the one screen, there's a couple enemies, and you beat them and get a power-up, and that's it. Like, I actually think that Mario Wonder did a really good job of giving us something that's like that, but better, more fleshed out. And like Landon said, helps break up the pace of the game because, I mean, Mario levels are good, but you're probably not going to want to play that exclusive style over and over and over and over for the entire game. If you can, cool. If you don't want to do that, like Landon said, you can have these things on the side that you're still playing the game, but you're doing something a little different.
I compare it to how Super Mario 3D World had the Captain Toad levels, and then also had the fun house, like the mystery fun houses.
Yeah,
where you kind of had that random challenge element.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good comparison.
But those were still
a single room.
Like it was just different platforming. And I guess here it is also still platforming, but it's like that's sort of it's like that vein of like style of hey, let's just break it up for them. And I love 3D World, and I love that part about it too. Is like you get this other challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like the whole badge system and all of the break time levels. Like I felt like it was pretty cool. I would say my biggest issue with the badge system was they give you like
the best one right away.
Like one of the best ones right away. There are some other really good ones that you get later on down the road, but
one of
like
sorry, go ahead.
Like yeah, like they give you the
parachute,
the parachute cap. Like that's like your first one. It's like okay, well,
so like what's the point of like the little wall stick vine thing or the wall jump or stuff like that when, you know, unless there's a very specific level, because there are very specific levels where you'll have a certain badge that really, really helps more than anything else. But in general, you're just going to want to pick the parachute cap because that's the one that gets the job done the most consistently. Like if they...
Yeah.
Or it's not the propeller jump, but...
the little spin jump one? Yeah.
The spin jump,
the spin jump.
That's a good one,
like
too.
Those are the two best, like, generic, like, for... Like
all
out
purpose.
Of all the levels, like, you could use those and be fine.
Yeah.
And then there's the more, like, very situational, and then there's Dolphin Kick if you're in a water level.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, I think Landon's complaint is valid. If they had just kind of, like, waited till a little bit later into the game. I know that it's probably just another way to make the game easier for newcomers, to make it, you know, more approachable. But at the same time, they probably could have at least, like, nerfed it a little bit, maybe introduced like a stronger version of it later in the game, so that like, because you're gonna just be tempted to play with that one or two badges for the entire game, and so that I think the badge system was not perfect, but it was generally pretty good. So yeah, anything else on the gameplay? I mean, it's a Mario 2D platformer, so I think we don't really need to go into Mario feels good to play. Like it's the same well-rounded controls for basically any Mario game before it.
The Wonder sections.
Yes, we do have the Wonder sections. That was a huge addition to the game that we didn't go over quite yet.
Yeah. They are, those, like, I think all of them are, like, super fun. I don't remember there being, like, one that I was like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, like, maybe in the moment, but, like, looking back at it, like, everything was, like, super fun.
Yes.
For the Wonder sections.
So, for those who may not have played it yet, Mario Wonder has this new gimmick, we'll say gimmick, quote unquote, with the Wonder Flowers, and you'll grab these Wonder Flowers in the middle of a level, and if you do grab it, it's sometimes it's not required, you don't have to do it, but if you do grab it, you'll have a very weird twist on the level, and things that will...
It is required to clear the world eventually. Yeah. You do need a certain number of Wonder Seeds.
Correct.
So, but you might not need it to necessarily get to the end of a level, but you do have to get them eventually.
Right.
Some levels you do have to get the Wonder Seed in order to clear the path correctly.
Right. So
there was a couple that were like that, but yeah, go ahead.
So to elaborate, they split. So usually previous Mario games, you had like star coins or green stars, and they broke that up into two collectibles. One of them are the purple 10 coins, which there's a new purple coin system that is basically your currency. You'll be able to spend it in shops to get extra goodies. You'll be able to collect these special 10 ones that are 3-wheel level, and that's like the optional collectible for the most part. There, if you want to like do like full completion, you will have to do this, but the required one, as Landon said, is the Wonder Seeds, and there'll be a couple per level as well. It depends. Some only have 2, some have 3. Usually the ones with secret exits will have 3, and you'll need to do the Wonder Flower for one of those Wonder Seeds. So as Landon was saying, you'll have to do some number of them. It's not, required that you do all of them usually for a world, but if you're going to go for completion again, you have to do them eventually, but that's like the required thing. So that's where they incorporate the Wonder Flowers, and the Wonder Flowers have all these different little weird twists on the gameplay that like reverse how you like kind of subvert what regular level design is in different ways. So yeah, so you have your required, your not so required for just beating the game sort of split, which is really nice if you're just trying to jump in for a more casual experience, or if you're a completionist, you have that other option to like just go nuts with collectibles basically.
Top of flagpoles.
Yep, talk about
tenor coins, standees.
Standees, that's another collectible.
Your gacha in your Mario game this time around, which most Mario games don't really have a gacha system, so nope. Yeah, they were like, let's add one.
Hell yeah! And they did.
How do you guys feel about
I fell for it.
How do you guys feel about the collectibles and the Wonder Flower stuff in this game?
Yeah, I feel like
I said. Oh, you go ahead.
There's a good variety of stuff in the game that it makes like replaying the levels feel worth it. And not only that, but it helps that the levels are already very fun to begin with, so like I don't have a problem replaying them to go back and get all the collectibles, because I mean, we did get every collectible in the game up until the very last level that you unlock for getting all of those collectibles, which we still need to go back and beat.
You didn't get the sound effect badge. It's technically a collectible.
Is it?
The sound effect badge is what you get for completing the final badge challenge.
Oh,
right.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a profile star related to getting all the badges.
One day.
So I'll say that I did not complete the game as far as these two did. These two got every other collectible in the game and unlocked what they call the final level. Because there's a final level and then there's a final level. I got to the final level, but I didn't get the final level because I didn't get all the tenors or the flagpoles, which is required. But yeah, I'd say other than that, like, the Wonder Flowers are really fun. Like, there's a lot of just really good ones, and there's always something new with them. So, like, I feel like when we were playing Wonder, one of us was always, like, just kind of excited or amused at what we were seeing from the next level's Wonder Flower. Like, there was always somebody that was like, oh, wow, this is cool. Like, you could have, like, I don't know.
Goomba.
Yeah. You get to be a Goomba in some...
You get to be a spike ball.
You get to be a spike ball.
You get to be a goop.
You get to...
Be a goop.
You get to float through space. You get...
There was the perspective went top down.
Yeah, you got like top down sections.
Cool.
Certain areas. Yeah.
You got the singing piranha plants that are doing a musical, and it's like a rhythm thing. There's a bunch of different wild ones. You had ones where like all of the like graphics were basically like just silhouettes with like a plain background. So like you had to try to move through that stuff, and you'd have enemies that were like coming at you from different directions, and their gimmick already was to like expand, contract. So you'd have all these extra obstacles that you didn't have the benefit of like extra visuals to help. It was just all sorts of weird stuff. Just to name a few.
Yeah. And there was a lot of fun, like, newer enemies, too, to play off some of the mechanics as well. Like you were saying, the
mushroom thing.
There was, like, there was the little... I think they were new. There was, like, the little guys that would jump when you jump.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know which ones you're talking about.
Yeah.
They were, like, they have, like, the spiked undersides, and they can, like, break through stuff.
Yep. And then, did they have... I'm trying to remember. There was just a lot of, like, fun enemies, and they were very expressive. That is something like this game, because they're going away from the new Super Mario stuff had, like, your Koopas do a little, when, to the music, but these, like, when you, like, killed a Goomba, and another Goomba, like, watched his friend die, he would go, bah!
Oh, yeah, he, like, gasps. He's like, oh no, and, like, they react to things. Yeah, they're much more expressive, because, like, the new Super Mario Brothers games, they were known for being what some people are calling sterilized, but, like, you have just a lot of creativity just kind of gushing out of this game, basically. Jack, did you have anything to add? We might as well move right on to the presentation, right?
I mean, yeah.
Music's really good. I just listened to the soundtrack, like, pretty much all the way through last night, because it was like, you know what? I need something to do while I count every single item in this store.
Nice.
Yeah. It's really good. I love the main theme.
Yeah, Super Mario Brothers Wonder has pretty good music, I'll admit. I've never been one I like it, but I've never been one to like be like super passionate about Mario music. But I mean, it is pretty fun, especially because this game does have a musical motif at points where just it'll play with musical themes quite a bit with its gimmicks. Like we mentioned, the piranha plant singing. There's the final boss is literally tuned in time with the rhythm of the music that's playing during it. So there's a lot of stuff played with that. Won't get too into it, but yeah, it's a
really fun Bowser fight.
It really is.
Yeah.
Whoa,
it's not much of a
Bowser's the final boss?
Name a Mario game where, like, a Mario platformer where Mario
doesn't fight
besides Bowser. Mario 2.
Yeah.
That Mario does not fight Bowser.
At the end.
Because Mario 2...
Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, baby.
Oh, take that.
How about Yoshi's Island?
Is that a Mario platformer? Where you play as Mario?
Mario is on Yoshi's back when he's fighting Baby Bowser.
It is called Super Mario World 2.
Super Mario Land.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's have this discussion later. How's that sound?
We could talk about that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting back to the presentation.
So yeah, the Super Mario Land games, yes. But like, the vast majority of mainline Mario games, Bowser is the boss.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? He's back, baby.
Whoa, no way.
No way.
Yeah. But he's not Jack Black this time, baby.
I like the Bowser world in this game. I think it looks cool. I think the level aesthetics overall are pretty solid. Now it's still a Mario game. There's still a grass world, there's still a desert world, there's still a water world. But like,
they're creative about it.
It's different. It's different enough.
Like,
you know?
For example, the desert world isn't just a desert world. There's like ruins, and there's mirages on the beach. There's like a beach as well. It's like,
it's also not the second world.
Yeah, it's like what is it, the fourth?
It's the fourth.
Yeah. So it's much later in the game. So they do this nice thing where like they're just kind of. It's just like everything else in this game. They're subverting the expectations of what a Mario game can be, and it's so cool. I like it.
Also pacing wise, like it's a little bit different than a lot of Mario games because after you complete a world, you go back to what's like the area in the middle,
Pedal Isles.
The Pedal Isles, and you unlock like a new section of the Pedal Isles every time you complete a world. And you get a new set of levels to go with that. And it's not always going to be like water levels because it is like the beach most of the time, the Pedal Isles, but like, you know, it's like even in between worlds, you're still getting like full levels and bonus levels and, you know, shit that you can find and buy.
Yeah, it's basically a bonus world, but they break it up, the pacing.
Yeah.
So you can run through the whole thing after you finish World 3.
Yeah.
Because they give you the rest of the Pedal Isles, and that's how you can take on 4, 5, and 6 in any order. But, like, you don't have to. You can just, like, play as much as you want, go to the next world. It breaks up the pace of... I don't have this whole dedicated one aesthetic world. I have a world, and then a chunk, and then a world, and then a chunk of a water level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in between. And I think my favorite level aesthetic was was it World 2 where you're climbing the mountain?
World 3.
World 3.
I was gonna say that one as well. That was a really cool one.
That was a lot of fun.
That one's cool. I think my favorite is actually the desert / oasis level, because it's just so creative, a twist on the usual formula for that kind of setting. Just having the variety of aesthetics where you've got the ruins, you've got the mirages, you've got the oasis. There's like a little like pond there. It's so different because usually you just have like canyony deserts, or like in Mario 3 there was some oasis, but like it's not as detailed because it's Mario 3's hub worlds. They're not that detailed, but it's just they added a lot of like fresh takes on what were otherwise like formulaic settings, and it's just really, really cool. I did like the Bowser world as well. It was a fun aesthetic and just fun world all around. And like Landon said, the mountain climbing one where you're starting at the bottom, moving your way up, that one's pretty cool. Just there's like a cave,
or the opposite one where you're in like a poisoned like swamp / mines area, and you start like spelunking and going downwards. That's really cool.
Same with the fire world where you are gradually going further down.
Yeah.
And that one's fun because the pacing on that is you're not constantly going down. You're not like, here's a level, clear, and then go down, and then clear, and then go down. You like can go down partially, and then go back up, and then...
Yeah, you're like
snake around. Maze.
Yeah.
It's a big maze.
Yeah.
Also,
you
Lava World in this game, not the final world. Not even the Bowser world.
Not even the Bowser world.
It's separate from Bowser.
Yep.
Also, like a third of it is optional.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much bonus shit in that world.
Yeah, because we had already gotten the needed Wonder Seeds like long before we had completed the world. We're like, we had enough, and then the game was like, oh no, there's still like 3 other levels, and we were like, okay, let's go do the 3 other levels.
So yeah, like overall, I think the overall package for Super Mario Wonder is great. I think we should talk about online because
so
that's a huge part of our experience.
So Super Mario Brothers Wonder is the first actually in this specific series of Mario games, because it wasn't the first time overall, but it is the first time where you can play online co-op. It is, and because of that, they handled co-op just as a whole a little bit differently. So in previous Mario games, you were a lot more physically involved with your teammates. Like, you could bump into them, you could jump off of them, you could the screen would often zoom out to only a certain
interact with each other.
Yeah,
basically.
But the screen would also,
and that's all still true. That's also true for local
multiplayer. Yeah.
If you're doing local, then you can still like interact with everyone. But for online, it's a little different.
Yeah, and how they did that is, you don't have to actually play the same levels. You can all go do different levels. And but if you're playing the same levels, Landon mentioned this earlier, there is a new feature called standees. And as you can collect them, they're just aesthetical changes. But when you have a standee, you can place it down as an extra checkpoint to give your teammate somebody, or if like they die, they'll turn into their ghost for a limited time. They can get back to that standee in time, and they can just continue the level from there. So there is a level of teamwork, even if you're playing online, with that limited interactability.
And you can also, like, if you are playing the same level, you can interact with the person to, like, save them as well. Yeah. You don't need to use the standee, but it's there in case you're, like, not at the same spot, or if you're playing different levels, you just, like, place a standee. You can help out. Yeah.
Now, to balance this, and I think overall this is probably for the best, you're not locked to the same screen as each other. You'll be playing essentially on your own. Just if you're playing in the same level, you'll be able to have that interaction with your teammates, and I think that's overall probably for the best, because like there can be points where maybe you're too separate from your team member, and that wouldn't really work if they locked you, like kind of tethered you together.
I hate to say it, but it is probably for the best for online play, because as much as I wanted that like kind of authentic, like local New Super Mario Brothers experience where it's chaotic as fuck and we're constantly like killing each other and like bumping into each other, but at the same time, it would be a lot more difficult. And also, if Super Mario Maker 2 is anything to go by, the online would probably be slow as shit if we were all like playing the level like at the same time and, you know, could interact with each other. It would probably lag quite a fair bit more. Because when you're playing, because the way it's played, you only have to follow yourself.
Yeah,
let's be
honest. Nintendo's online is not the strongest quality online for their servers, so it could be a game as simple as Mario Wonder, and something might go wrong if you had that sort of thing going in.
So I think the way it was implemented was pretty smart. Even if it's not like, I mean, like, we made an effort to, like, go into the same levels at the same time just to kind of have the same experiences at the very least. But, yeah, it was the right call, I think. And I still had fun.
Yeah.
You know,
it was a ton of fun.
still definitely had fun playing the game together. It was just different from what I was expecting.
Right.
Going in.
Now, speaking of us playing it together, so I mentioned this already, but I did not quite complete the game on the level that these two did. So I want to ask, with us playing it together, how was completing the game fully for you guys as an experience doing that live?
In regards to what exactly? I mean, yeah, it was great. I loved it.
And so so did you want to talk about that last level now?
I mean, I said it earlier, but I had zero problems replaying levels to like get all the collectibles, get the tops of all of the flagpoles. I mean, every once in a while I would run into a level that was like kind of a pain in the ass, and I'm like, I don't want to replay this one. But those are kind of few and far between. And Jesus Christ, the final level is so fucking hard. Like, we got all the way to the last section of that level where you're invisible. Because, like, that is... I mean, for those who don't know, the final level basically takes advantage of a lot of the major badges in the game.
Badge.
Every single, like...
movement
badge. What's that?
Every single badge that, like, manipulates your movement.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like you have the parachute cap section, and then you have, like, the charge, or you have, like, the floaty jump. You have the dolphin kick. You have the charge jump. You have, like, the...
spring
jump, the propeller jump. Oh, the fucking spring. The spring
jump. The wall
jump.
vine. Ugh. Yeah, the wall jump. Yeah, like
all
of the ones, the speed, like the speed run.
We got to the very last badge. We died.
Which was the invisible
we died many
one.
times. And you have to do like this impossible platforming on like these bouncy platforms, and you're invisible. Oh my god. I don't even want to think about it. We still haven't beaten it. I know I said that earlier, but like, god damn it.
I went through 99 lives.
I went through
actually more than that, because you earn 1-ups as you play, because you pick up coins.
Right.
Yeah. I went through... I am not sure how many. I forget how many I started with, but it wasn't quite 99. But... I mean, everything up to that level was great.
Yeah.
There was a whole special world that we went through. It's kind of a Mario staple, but we... I know that there's other games that did a similar thing with this, because it was like... you had to basically find a secret exit in a world, and then that secret exit, by beating a series of a couple of levels, it would bring you to a special pipe that would warp you to one level in the special world for that world. And then you do that for each of the major worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I think there's a couple other Mario games that did something kind of similar, but like, not sure off the top of my head.
Well, World has the special world and then the special world. 3D World has its own like final like special world, and then it has at the very end of that you have the like ultimate level, and then the ultimate mystery house challenge. So like, yeah, there's plenty of Mario games with an ultimate level that is stupid.
And the badge challenge marathon was that one in this game.
Yep.
So, anything else we want to hit on before we summarize what just our thoughts on the game in general?
How about the fucking flower? That loudmouth bitch.
Yeah, it
was fine.
We didn't talk about this, but there was like they added this flower. They're in the levels and they just talk and talk a lot. You can change the language that they talk in, though.
You can either turn off the volume on them completely but still have text, or turn off the text but keep the voice. You cannot do both, unfortunately. And they all have, and like, I know the flowers are basically just for for children, and babies who need like hints and stuff on certain sections, but like they're kind of annoying. Honestly, it's just the fucking like awkward or that just happened type writing that they have, and it's just like, shut the fuck up. I switched it to Japanese and turned off subtitles because I was like, I don't even want to know what they're saying.
Yeah.
And they're still kind of annoying even in Japanese.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it was fun making fun of them though. Like if us playing it together, I think it was a lot more tolerable because we just cracked a lot of jokes about it.
It's
you
a very
kill some of them.
True. It's a very like minor issue I have with the game. Oh, as long as we're naming nitpicks, there's no item inventory in this game, and I kind of wish that there was, because like I know that you could make the argument that if you had like a shitload of items in the overworld, that would just make the game too easy. But on the other hand, like I can just go back to the first level and get 2 elephant fruits, or go back to another level and get 2 like bubbles.
Yeah.
You know, it like you can,
because this game, what it does is it does the Super Mario World thing where you get one,
where you have one item in reserve.
That's it. New Super Mario Bros. DS also did this,
but no overworld inventory.
Yeah, you don't.
Unfortunately,
it's weird how they do that. It's like hit or miss. Like they've gone back and forth on this kind of thing, because they had it in Super Mario 3, they had it in New Super Mario Bros. Wii. I think they hadn't. They had it in right?
Yeah. But not this game.
Yeah.
And that's like the one thing I don't like about Super Mario World. Like that's one of my favorite. That is my favorite 2D Mario game. But like I wish it had the item inventory. But like pretty much anything I would say about this game that is a complaint is just a super minor nitpick.
Yeah,
because like when my biggest problem with the game is like I kind of wish there was an item inventory.
It's one of those things where like there's nothing.
It's not even remotely a deal breaker.
There's nothing inherently really wrong with the game outside of maybe what Landon said with the badge thing, I think, where it's like there's some design choices maybe you don't agree with, but there's nothing like particularly actually flawed with the game, I would say.
There's really nothing like egregious about it. I mean,
it is just,
if you're looking for a 2D Mario experience, it's like
it's just well put together, well polished.
Pretty close to one of the best.
Just
I give it a 9.9 out of 10.
What's the 0.1 for? The final level?
No, just my my gripe about the badge.
Okay.
Like giving us the
best
parachute
badge
cap.
early.
Yeah, parachute cap like is your first badge. You could have made it like World 2 badge pickup or something. That would have been fine.
Like a little bit later.
But then the 9.9 points I gave for it, Daisy.
Yeah, just Daisy.
Valid.
The game could have been complete garbage, and it still would have given. I would have given it the same as I got to play as Daisy.
As playable Daisy.
Yeah,
it's that
playable
easy.
Daisy, baby. Pick this one up.
So my overall thoughts, I would say I liked it. I think it was really good overall. The various things that we talked about with like the way that the Wonder Flowers work and the power-up variety and just the level structure, world structure overall. It is probably one of my favorite 2D Mario games. Yeah, it's up there. It's definitely up there. It was a lot of fun playing it with you guys for our streams. Our VODs are up for those for anyone that wants to watch them. And I think my only minor nitpick is something I did say on one of the streams, is that I just wish that there was like one extra world. Just one extra world. That's really it.
It does feel like just a tiny bit short. I mean, technically there are 8 full worlds in the game, because you have, worlds the main 6. You have Bowser's World, and then you have the Petal Isles, and then you have the Star World as well. So, like, if you count that's 9.
I think that's a miscount. I think it's.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure that with the special world, it's 8. Because there's a
6 plus Petal Isles.
Yeah, it's 6 plus Petal Isles and then Special World, right?
What
Petal
about Bowser?
Isles and the Bowser are
Bowser's technically
yeah.
Oh yeah, they're like they're one world because they have
okay.
Because they share the same Wonder Seed, right?
Well, yeah. Okay, so technically
Grand Wonder Seed.
Petal Isles is just
the Petal Isles is the Bowser world, but like I view like the particular set of like Bowser's level because there's like 5 or 6 of them. Like it's enough for a whole world.
That's true.
It's
so
a
like
smaller world, but it's a world.
Yeah, you know what? To be fair, I think maybe I was just kind of considering them as one world, but they are full enough that they could be 2. Because the Mario 3 Bowser world isn't all that long. It's like 3 mini levels and then 2 main levels. Like that's it.
Yeah.
I feel like this game has like more content, like obviously excluding Luigi U in regards to New Super Mario Brothers U, but like I feel like this game has more content than any individual New Super Mario Brothers game.
That's fair, because like, I mean, when you add in all those like side levels that we had, I mean, how many streams did it take us to beat it? And it was 7 to beat it, and then we had an 8th stream that was just us trying the final level. And like
the final level.
I don't know like the exact play time, but like my Switch activity log says that I spent like 15 hours on the game. So like, and I mean some of it was waiting around a little bit, but like that means a 2D Mario game has at least 10 hours of gameplay. Like that's,
let's say probably 13 hours.
Like that's pretty good.
I mean, I could really check myself
actually.
on how long to beat.
Like,
yeah, I would say the one other design gripe, and this is going to be a little jab at the next thing coming up, is possibly not enough bosses.
That is fair. Like, I didn't really get a big none of the bosses really wowed me until the Bowser fight at the end.
Most of the bosses are just Bowser Jr.
Yeah.
And that's... I mean...
And not even guaranteed for every world.
Yeah,
not every world
has one.
Had a boss fight at the end of it.
And that's kind of disappointing. I mean, like, it's disappointing, but at the same time, Mario games 2D Mario games anyway, have never been known for having, like, particularly great boss fights.
Yes, true.
But... yeah, I do wish that there were more interesting boss fights in the game. That is one like genuine complaint that I have.
It's like the one game where having the Koopalings
might have actually made it better in just marginally, just a little bit.
Just to see like what the Wonder Seed effect would have been for them.
True.
See that is true. Like on one hand, I understand them not wanting to use the Koopalings because they were in.
They know that we're sick of it.
They were in 3 of the 4 New Super Mario Brothers games and also in Mario Kart 8. So, like, people were kind of sick of them after seeing them so much. But I agree.
Boom and Pom Pom?
What's that?
What about Boom Boom and Pom Pom?
I was going to say,
I feel like...
they did that for 3D Land. They used those a lot. They could have just thrown
3D Land and World.
They're at 3D Land, 3D World, and Boom Boom was in new Super Mario Brothers U.
Yeah.
Like, he was like basically your midpoint boss in every single world. But I mean, like, once again, it's like the what if with the Wonder Seed.
Yeah.
Is like what these bosses could have been. But it's like that and like the badges, like, are it. But that's not even like a main, like, those are like more, I would say, minor things.
Yeah, it's not even like a flaw. It's just they just decided not to do. They just made some off decisions just slightly, but that's not like doesn't make the game.
The overall package is fucking great. Go buy it right now. Go play as Daisy.
I checked how long to beat, and like Super Mario Brothers Wonder has like about as much content as like New Super Mario Brothers Wii or New Super Mario Brothers U.
Yeah,
that makes sense. I think it does help though that like it does feel more accessible to get to all that content in Super Mario Brothers Wonder, because I don't know about you guys, but I've always felt like I didn't quite have the chance to really get to some of that extra content in like the other New Super Mario Brothers games because of how they're behind like secret exits, and those secret exits some of them were pretty tricky, at least for me personally, to like access.
See, that's the thing about like the new Super Mario Brothers games, is that the levels don't have as many like standout moments, or they don't have as many like unique design choices or set pieces that make the levels more worth replaying and going for all of the star coins. I think that's part of the secret exits.
Too. Like some of those levels I just don't want to go back to playing, but like
yeah,
I feel compelled
like when
to
you're
do
done
that
with
for
it,
Wonder.
it's yeah. Like in Wonder, it's like I really want to go back and get all the tenors, and it's like I would do that for New Super Mario Brothers, but I probably wouldn't enjoy it as much. But I mean, like, just to give overall thoughts, since I haven't really said, I think this is the best 2D Mario game in a long time. It's easily better than all of the New Super Mario Brothers games. There's nothing that those games offer that this game doesn't, except for like New Luigi U, but that's like kind of its own thing.
What about Toadette with the Super Crown thing?
True. I say New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe
I guess.
has that.
I guess.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, got your beat.
I guess.
Go buy New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe now for your Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
That's, I guess, what
Get the fuck out of here.
That's what I guess we're talking about now.
Yeah.
But either way, I feel like it's not like a huge leap forward in terms of gameplay. Obviously, it's still a 2D Mario game, but it does enough different from the previous entries in the series that really makes it stand out and makes it feel like its own unique experience and not just another 2D Mario game.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
No, yeah.
And I mean, like, I would say not to I mean, I guess that's a topic for another day, but like I would say it's easily like a top 5 2D Mario game.
Yeah, I would
maybe I don't know if I would say top 3, because top 3 has like, I don't know, Mario 3, Mario World, and Yoshi's Island. But if you don't include Yoshi's Island, then maybe top 3.
So I'm gonna say, and this might be me like kind of overshooting it, maybe. This might be my second favorite 2D Mario game, next to Mario 3.
Donkey Kong 94.
Nice.
This game. And then I don't know what else. I don't know what else you like. But obviously Donkey Kong 94 is everyone's favorite Mario platformer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's yeah.
Okay. Good that we're all on the same page of what the top Mario 2D platformer is.
I think that's about it. Yeah. Unless there's anything else.
Segue.
Landon mentioned earlier that he was taking a jab at a specific thing with Mario Wonder that we're going to talk about here, because it does have a big role in how we're going to talk about this game. Hey.
Well, let's go from no boss fights to only boss fights.
We got Sonic Superstars, which was a 2D Sonic game released 3 days before, on October 17th, 2023, for all available current-gen platforms. So you got Switch, PS4 and 5, Xbox One and Series, PC. And it is like the classic 2D Sonic games. It's essentially in the it's in the Mania engine, but it's got a new aesthetic that's closer to probably like classic Sonic generations specifically. A little bit closer to that, but more like just kind of current. And the major addition was that. So you have your playable characters, Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, Amy. There's a 5th unlockable character, and you can do the new Super Mario Brothers thing now. You can play multiplayer with them. I didn't test this out, so whatever Landon says, I agree, I guess. I didn't get to try that out.
I mean, the only multiplayer I did was when I was test demoing the game back in August, which I talked about on a previous podcast. But I mean, it's pretty chaotic. So there's that.
So Sonic Superstars, like I said, it's basically just like the classic 2D Sonic games. You've got, what is it, like 11 different worlds, and they're all new. There's obviously the aesthetic themes. Some of them are borrowing from previous ideas, but I gotta say, level-wise, I was actually kind of impressed with the selection here. Like, I really enjoyed a lot of the different levels. Like Golden Capital is really cool because like that was a planned idea they had for a level back on like the Genesis era. They just never did it, and then they did it this time. Like they had Arzest doing development on this with Sonic Team, and they mostly it was Arzest, and they borrowed that old idea and they put it in there. I like Cyberfuck. Yeah, whatever the cyber level is.
Cyberfuck.
Cyberfuck.
I already don't remember the name, and it has my favorite song in the entire game. What am I doing with my
Cyberfuck Station.
Cyber Station Zone. There it is, yeah.
Yep, I got it. Cyberfuck Station.
But yeah, you had but there's like 11 different stages. You've got multiple different characters that you can play as, and not every zone has like the same amount of acts. Because usually you have like 2 acts or 3 acts in like every Sonic game, and like it's just flat, that's it. But here you'd have some where it's like just 1 act and like an extra act that's like act fruit or act specific character. Or sometimes you'd have 2 acts and that. And so they change it up quite a bit. They have a lot of boss fights. They have a lot of boss fights. But Landon, did you have any favorite zones though before we get into those boss fights?
I think Cyber Station was definitely, I would say that's probably my favorite zone that I played. Yeah, that's like my standout one. Did you play through the game as just Sonic? Minus the like character like individual levels?
Pretty much, yeah. I didn't have the chance to like go back yet. I was gonna like try to go back and play as Tails, play as Knuckles, play as Amy, play as the new unlockable character who has their own story. But I didn't get the chance to, so I just basically did Sonic.
I played through as Knuckles. I did my whole playthrough as Knuckles.
Nice. So, yeah. Okay, so there's Bridge Island, Speed Jungle, Sky Temple, Pinball Carnival. Pinball Carnival is actually one of my favorite, like, of that style stage. I think that's actually probably one of my favorites so far that they've done. Like that and...
Pretty good.
Latin, like, Studiopolis are, like, 2 of my favorites. You got Lagoon City, Sand Sanctuary, Press Factory, Golden Castle.
Press Factory is fun.
Press Factory was pretty good. And then Cyber Station, Frozen Base, and Egg Fortress. I'm not gonna lie, Frozen Base was also pretty good. I wasn't expecting an ice level that late in the game with a nice twist to it, and it was a lot of fun.
I was about to say there was no... first of all, for those not knowing, I have not played this game, so I don't have a lot to say about Sonic Superstars. I was about to say, though, like, there's no way they haven't done an Egg Fortress before this game. But no, I was thinking of Final Fortress, which was still an Eggman level from Sonic Heroes. But not quite the same thing.
Yeah, and the Egg Fortress zone in this game is also kind of different. Like, your first level is like your typical, like, Eggman's base style level with just a little bit of an aesthetic twist. But they do this gimmick where, like, you have to do that whole thing backwards for the second act. So, like, they have, like, some weird gimmicks for some of these levels, and I mean, I think they're pretty good overall for the most part. Like, Cyber Station is one big act, but it's broken apart, and Sonic's got these, like, pixel style, like, blocky design to him, and then he transforms into things for, like, segments of the levels. Like, he can turn into a squid and, like, float through space, and he can turn into a rocket ship and move through the sky. And there's one other thing I'm forgetting. I know there's like a third thing, but it's there's quite a few different, like, styles of like ways to break up the gameplay a little bit within like kind of twist things. I think my two favorites are probably Golden Capital and Cyber Station, and it's cool that they come back to back.
I'll say this. I think from now, I will say I have played a bit of the Unlockable Character story. Spoilers going forward, because I'm not going to hold my tongue going.
That's perfectly
at this point.
So that's perfectly fine, because I'm not gonna lie, I actually don't care about spoilers for this game.
I know you don't, yeah. But I'm warning the general audience at this point. Spoilers for Sonic Superstars. Wow. One of the new characters introduced in the game is Trip. They're a lizard dragon thing. Once you beat the game, you unlock a hard mode where you can play through the entire game as Trip. Trip has her own like little moveset, and the levels are harder as Trip.
I actually did not know that. That's interesting.
Yes, no. They do a whole redesign, so it's still like Act 1, Act 2, and it's still kind of like the general theme, but enemy placements are different and that type stuff.
Okay.
And then her big thing is she kind of combines some of the different powers of some of the other ones. So she can, when she spin... Al makes a good point. Harder and worse. And that's where I'm coming to.
Here we go.
Because this is going to wrap around to what I was going to say originally. But, so she can basically jump into a ball, but she's a spike ball. And then she can, basically with that, when she jumps into that, she can do a double jump. So you can, like, double jump onto enemies. But then also, you can use that to, like, climb walls and stuff.
Okay.
She's a spike
That's
ball.
interesting.
Yeah. So, like,
cool.
From a, like, conceptual, like, point, Trip is a cool character with a cool set of powers. Execution, they kind of ruin the levels. I did not get past Act 2 or 3 of the second zone as Trip. I got frustrated with a certain section, and I was like, I'm done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So if you want to go through Trip's story, have fun. It is required if you want to see the true ending. I didn't care.
Speaking of true ending, it should be noted, just like in most Sonic games, if you want to get to the true ending, you need to collect the 7 Chaos Emeralds. Landon, we actually have a little bit to talk about here, because usually in most Sonic games, the Chaos Emeralds are just a collectible, and that is it. You get them from some weird special stage, and you collect them, and when you get the 7, you can turn into Super Sonic or Super whoever and do the final boss, and that's it. They're just a collectible that unlocks the final boss, and if you get all of them, you might get a special bonus. Not in this game. In this game, collecting Chaos Emeralds also grants you additional powers that you can use across all of the levels. If you are just playing to beat the game, these are not mandatory, these are not required, they just help you out, and there's a big variety of them. Landon, how many of them did you get? Did you get all 7 of them? You got 4?
I got 4.
I got 4. You wanna know why? Because that 5th one, too damn hard.
Sucks fucking asshole.
Okay.
To get.
Why is it always the 5th Chaos Emerald?
It's either the 4th or the 5th. It's never the last one in these games. It's always one of the ones in the middle.
Sonic 4 Episode 2 final special stage was stupid monkey dicks.
I still haven't beaten that one.
I still haven't gotten that one either. But in this one, it's the 5th special stage.
Yeah. So the way that the special stages work is that the Chaos Emeralds are floating up around a 3D space, and the 3D space has no bottom to it, so your character is constantly falling, but there's ways to there's like these things that you can kind of like do like a hook shot, like Spider-Man-esque like swing and carry yourself around. And there's also some like little springy things that when you like bump in, like when you move into them, you'll like shoot upward. So there's these ways to keep you airborne, and you have to chase down the emerald that's moving around. And the way that these are designed, depending on the placement for these things, it can be really hard. The 5th emerald, once you get to a certain height, it's exclusively this one thing, and they can be spaced kind of far apart. So, like, it's just so hard to keep up with. And because of the way that your character is going to be shooting up into the air, you have to try to fall down into the emerald. But the emerald's just moving too fast. You can't keep up with it. Like, it's so hard.
And the auto, like the targeting for, like,
the tether.
Yeah, like, if you're, like, trying to get to one of the swing balls or, like, the jump pads in that level, I don't know why. It fucking sucks. It, like, does not like to target things sometimes.
Yeah, the auto-targeting's kind of garbage in those special stages, not gonna lie.
Yeah. No, it's... The special stages are not great.
Not great.
I'll say that. It's not a great... Honestly... I think Mania has some of the best special stages.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
With the Catch the UFO. Like, I think hands down, like, I think that's my favorite. This is a fine attempt to do something different. Execution, not great.
Yeah, I agree.
I just want to go back to, like, the point I was going to make real quick before I went off into a side tangent of Trip Story. Is I think the levels of the base game, so not Trip Story, the levels of the base game, not the boss fights, if you just take like getting from the end to wherever the boss fight starts, is solid Sonic content.
Yeah, it for sure. It's like I did not find a level that really stuck out as like a problem for me. All of these were generally good.
When you're playing just the main game, not Trip Story, not dealing with the boss fights. It's once you start adding in some of that fucking dog shit, I want to say. Like, So
I don't know about you, but like something I know that like, so Jack and Landon did not care for the crush physics in Sonic Mania. And because...
I didn't have an issue with crush physics.
Yeah, so in this game, they like... It's still running off the same engine, but they knew that was something that people didn't like. Some people did not like. So you really don't see a whole lot of situations where that's possible. Like, if you're going to get crush deathed, it's going to be very deliberate because the thing is, like, telegraphed and will just slam down really fast on you. So, like, you don't have that weird moment where, like, will you fit, will you won't, like you can with Mania, and then just die. Like, they looked at that and they designed the levels pretty well overall for the base game.
Yeah, no, I think the level design for the base game is well done.
I think it's right up there with the classic Sonic games. It's pretty generally good.
It's very solid. It's the second you start adding, and it's not even like all of the boss fights.
So yeah, let's get into the boss fights. So
there's just so many of them that it just like dog piles, and you're just like, it's like a slugfest.
So here's the thing.
One after another.
The boss fights in this game, if I will say one thing, they are epic in scale, even from the first boss fight. Like they let it known to you that the boss fights in this game are kind of crazy. Like, you're fighting literally, like, Death Egg Robot, Boss 1. So, like, it's just, they don't pull punches. But the problem is not just that they're hard, it's that they have very long periods where you cannot hit them.
Yes, I mean, they are... you just have to, like, sit there and, like, wait. There's so much waiting.
So, going back to, like, the Chaos Emeralds thing, so if you don't have some of the power-ups that these Chaos Emeralds grant, there's just no way to hit some of these bosses while you're waiting for them to do stuff. You might be able to cheese it if you have certain power-ups. Like, the first emerald gives you a clone attack where, like, a bunch of copies of your character just run across the screen from both sides, and they can damage stuff, they can die in hilarious fashion. It's funny. Some of the bosses are admittedly vulnerable from this, where you might not be able to reach the boss, but some of them do not. So the bosses, they start off generally fine, but when you get to the latest parts in the game, there are some bosses that just have really long periods of time before you can hit them. Egg Fortress, the final boss in particular. I know it's the final boss of the main story, but goddamn, dude. Like, it's 8 hits, so it doesn't, it's a standard Sonic amount, but you're literally waiting like 20-30 seconds at a time before you can get there.
It's like a 4-minute boss fight.
Yeah, it's a 4-minute boss fight.
When you're doing it fast.
And it has a lot of variable different attacks. It has 2 phases of 4 hits each. And yeah, there's like, it piles on these different attacks. You've got like a barrage of like bullet hell style bullets. It has phases where it's using these rockets to fire at you, and only the blue ones will hit, just like the blue rockets from the Studiopolis zone back in Sonic Mania. Only the bulbous blue ones will work. The regular, like, thin ones don't work. And you have to try to hit the one into them, but it has to hit them from behind. You can't hit them. It can't hit them from the front, because if it hits from the front, it just gets deflected. So you have to.
He can just go. Eh.
Yeah. So you have to like. There's two layers to the first phase, and then they throw a second phase at you where it's constantly chasing you, kind of like the Death Egg robot in Sonic and Knuckles, except it's doing way crazier attacks. Like,
and there's no checkpoint in between them.
There's no checkpoint.
You have to do it all in one run.
And that is the problem with the Sonic Superstars bosses in general, is that they don't have checkpoints, and some of these bosses take a long time. If they had just put a checkpoint like halfway in between some of these bosses, I think it'd be fine. Like, I wouldn't care. But like,
yeah,
they're brutal for like a casual player. This is not a game that like a kid or like a first-time Sonic player can go into and play this game. Like, it's just, I would say go back and like play Sonic Mania, play Sonic Origins first. When you get comfortable, then play Sonic Superstars. Do not play Sonic Superstars first.
That's very fair. It's not an entry point game.
But yeah, how did you feel about the rest of the bosses in general? Because we did talk a lot about the final boss, but I mean, they're kind of hit or miss. There's some fun ones.
Yeah. Fuck Knack. I love Knack the Weasel. I love Triple Trouble. Fuck his boss fight.
Yeah, his boss fight's kind of I wasn't.
It goes on long. It's another one that just goes on a long time. And it doesn't have a fun gimmick. And like, he shows up, I think it's his level in like the jungle zone with Trip that like, it like, I was like, nope. Because he like does a chasing section, and then like you have to do some like very specific platforming, and I just got frustrated with it.
Right.
But there's a couple boss fights that are like, they're fine, they're good, but I don't know. It's just...
The music is weird. Like, it's... So the thing is that they had a few different cooks in the kitchen here. You got T. Lopes, you got Jun Sonoy, and then you've got quite a few like other people that are in there. I don't remember her name, Toriana, I think. She helped, like, collabed with Jun Sonoy for Cyber Station, and she was returning from Team Sonic Racing. She did the music for that, some of the music for that. So you got a bunch of cooks in the kitchen. Jun Sonoy is so attached to the goddamn Sonic 4 like faux Genesis sound font style. I will say though, like, the music is still overall, even in his like compositions, generally better than the Sonic 4 stuff.
Sorry, go ahead.
But
no, go ahead.
It's disjointed because then you have T. Lopes, who does these much more varied and more atmospheric, melodic, kind of like, I want to say it feels like a Sonic CD Japanese OST style approach to it. So there's like a contrast. There's like two different styles that are like clashing here. There's good parts all around. It's just really weird.
I think Jun Sonoy is really talented, and I think he has a place in Sonic's like compositions, but he needs to be working with real instruments if he's composing something, because when he's limited to just like,
and here's the thing,
Genesis style sound fonts, it just doesn't work very well.
He's doing this by choice. No one has made him do this Genesis style. He chooses to make the music that way.
I know.
It's so weird. Why is he doing this?
Sega just really needs to be like, look, T-Lopes does all of our Genesis style music. Jun Sonoy does all of the rock shit.
Yeah.
That's it. That's just separate them into their own lanes, because they both like are good at different things.
Yeah. That I agree. Like, I think there's no disrespect to Jun Sonoy, because like I said, the music in this game, even the stuff he's done, is generally better. And I think people do kind of overhate some of it. But it doesn't sound to me as good on average than T-Lopes' stuff, or, the other couple composers that worked on this. Like, I don't know how Cyber Station Zone would have sounded without Toriena, like, kind of like the way that it's kind of cool how they do it. Like, Cyber Station Zone, the music starts off with like that typical faux Genesis, like Sonic 4 style, like drum. And then like Toriena's like, techno-y like style, like drops in, smacks it down, and then overwrites the melody. And it's so cool. I don't know how that would have sounded if Jun Sonoy was also the composer and arranger, because Toriena came in to like arrange over the composition. So I think that if Jun Sonoy was working with someone directly on more of these, I think you'd probably get some cool stuff out of that. But there are zones that he just entirely does the song himself, and it sounds so different from what everybody else is doing in this game.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's generally pretty good. There's quite a few bops. There's stuff that's growing on me. It's just when I listen to these songs, I don't always feel like these are all supposed to be from the same game. That's it.
That's kind of like, I haven't listened to any of the music from this game, but that's kind of what I've heard.
Yeah. It feels like the soundtracks of like two different Sonic games were just smushed together. So it was just not cohesive, but I mean, it's pretty good overall. I love T-Lopes' stuff here. And I do generally like some of Jun Sonoy's stuff. And like I was saying, I've been gushing about Cyber Station Zone. That is my favorite song in the game. Cyber Station Zone, Toriena's arrangement. Whew. Oh god, it's so good. Bring her back for more, please. Oh yeah, Al in our chat made a very good point. One of the problems with the boss fights too is that it has they have a really short boss theme. It's not used for all the bosses, but quite a few of them. And because the bosses are so long and the boss theme is short, you get the same loop over and over for 3 minutes. It's cool.
Yeah. Okay, so 3 things real quick. 1, no life system. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep. 2, fuck the medals shit. You need too many of these medals to, like, customize your little robo thing, and all it does is let you customize one of your bosses.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even bother with that stuff.
Yeah, no, it's like, there's, like, it's just, like, if you want to buy a custom part, it costs way too much. And then if you want to color that custom part, it costs way too much. And, like, you get these for, like, every 100 rings you collect, because instead of a
life system, you
get a medal. And then occasionally you get one for, like, you can get, like, ones if you're clearing a special stage you already do. And then there's, like warp areas that are like Sonic 1.
Yeah, Sonic 1 special stages.
Special stages where you're just collecting
medals,
like when you're clearing those, you're collecting those medals. Which those are fine. Those are a fun little break of pace. But like all you're getting is this medal that is not worth a whole lot, and it's very time consuming to get. And all it is for like an aesthetic optional thing I don't know what you're supposed to do with this little robot thing outside of it showing up in a boss fight. That kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think like overall, I mean, do we have anything else we wanted to dip into with this game, or do we want to just kind of go to the thoughts summary for this?
Well, we didn't really try the multiplayer or online, so we're not going to talk about that. Maybe we'll play through the game.
Yeah.
Online. I would like to. It's fun enough.
I think we can probably work that out. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe one day. Jack just has to get off his lazy butthole.
I mean,
no.
Do you own the game or do you not have it?
No, I don't own the game.
So, that's why he has to get off his lazy butthole.
That's why I've been so slow to get to this game, because it's $60 retail.
And you missed the sale, didn't you?
There's been several sales where it's been $30. Yeah. So, no, this is just him being lazy.
That's still quite a bit for a 2D Sonic game. I don't know. When Mania was like 20.
I mean, that's fair. It does cost quite a bit of money.
So let's put let's put it this way.
I'm very much being a cheap ass.
So
when I say I don't want to spend $30 on this game, but like when Mania was $20.
So not even that. We literally let's put it this way. Let's compare it to Super Mario Bros. Wonder, a game that just came out within the same week. They are both the same genre of game, and you have Super Mario Wonder is a solid 10 hours plus of completion with solid content throughout the entire game across the board. Sonic Superstars is the same price as Super Mario Bros. Wonder, with not quite as much content. Generally still decent content that's there, but it's not as much, and it's not as consistently good. Like, if you are picking between these two games, which one are you going to play? Which one's more worth $60?
Dragon Quest Monsters.
It's pretty obvious that if you were in a store and you got these two games looking at you full retail price, I would say Super Mario Bros. Wonder is more worth your purchase. But yeah, Sonic Superstars is the kind of game that it goes on sale a lot. Like, it went on sale like twice or 3 times already for a good couple weeks at a time since it launched, and it only launched like 3 months ago. It's 4 months ago. Yeah, it's barely even been out, and it's already been on sale for like $30 or $40. And I would say it's worth about that much. But like, Mania was a steal at its price. And
Mania should have been $40.
Yeah, and compare it, and especially when you compare the fact that with Sonic Mania Plus, let's say Sonic Mania Plus versus Sonic Superstars. Sonic Mania Plus has the Encore mode versus Trip Story and Sonic Superstars. Or not Mania, Encore. Yeah, no, Sonic Mania has Encore mode, which is basically like Trip Story with Mighty and Ray, but you can still play as the other characters. And the content, the level design there, at least from what I know, is just better in Sonic Mania. So, like, you'd probably want to wait for a sale on Sonic Superstars, but like, that doesn't make it a bad game. It's just got some very stiff competition is the problem. Like, where Sonic Superstars is good, it's pretty fucking good. Like, I enjoyed myself. But there are those moments, like Lando was saying, where like, it's just frustrating. There's just parts that we know have been so much better before.
I would say, especially out of like the recent releases for Sonic, I would it's above like the average, like overall, for me at least. It's good. It's a good game, but like I would put it, I definitely, it's under Mania. That's
so
hands down.
So let's say last 10 years of Sonic games, right? So
Forces to now, or like Lost World to now?
Yeah, Lost World to now. Like, would you say it's better than Lost World?
I enjoy Lost World, so I guess.
Would you say it's better than Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric?
It's better than Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. It's better than Sonic Forces. Those two for sure. I'm trying to think. It's like, do I like this more than Frontiers?
That's an interesting debate.
Yeah, I think that's where it like really comes down to is like Superstars and Frontiers.
Because those were the two recent.
Those are the most two recent. They're the most in your face right now. I think Frontiers overall is like a better package.
Especially now that you have the free DLC updates that really flesh it out a bit. And I heard that the DLC updates also replaced that questionable final boss. So,
although they are adding Shadow to Superstars, I think as just a skin for Sonic.
Interesting.
But it has Shadow now, so
that's fair. But yeah, you have the same 4 core playable characters over in Frontiers in the 3D setting. And that's going to be generally the same price point around with Superstars. Like if I'm sure if they go on sale, like they'll probably most likely both go on sale at similar times. So like,
or you can find Frontiers $10 cheaper just because it's been out an extra year.
Exactly. So like, if you were comparing these two, Frontiers is probably the game you should get.
I would, unless you're like against 3D Sonic.
Yeah, just period.
But yeah, that's my take. Is like it's better than Forces.
Yeah,
there you go.
There you go.
Sentence.
It is.
So what you're telling me, Landon, is it's a 7 out of 10 game?
It's a 7.5 out of 10 game.
Oh, okay.
I think Forces is the most average Sonic game you can get, which by game review scores is a 7.
Which is bullshit, but
yeah. But I'm just going based off of the internet, not logic. So
gotcha.
If internet logic, not real logic, but internet logic says Sonic Forces is a 7 out of 10, then Sonic Superstars is a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a little bit above average overall.
Yeah,
it's got some really high highs and some kind of frustrating mid points.
But you can play through the entire game as Knuckles, and I give it my stamp of approval.
They can't take that away from you.
Unless I'm playing Trip Story, then they can.
Yep.
That was the thing, though, with this game and with Forces back when that came out, is that I didn't get them initially, and, like, fan reception is generally like, yeah, it's alright. So I just have not been, like, incentivized into buying them. Because if I just know that it's going to be average, then I don't really want to spend my money on it.
So here's the thing. I don't think that the reception for Superstars and Forces were generally equal, in my opinion. I think that Superstars...
Well, no, I'm not saying
I think that Superstars was mostly... the way that the internet responded to it is closer to how they responded to Sonic Colors Ultimate, wherein that there is some valid criticisms to make about the package, but the package isn't necessarily bad, but people are overblowing that it is bad. So it's one of those things where, like, if you get the game at a decent price, you're gonna have a good time. It's just fun. It's pretty good. It's nothing crazy, but it's enjoyable. But the vocal response to it makes it sound like it's a worse game than it is, in my opinion.
Get it when it's $20.
Yeah, get it. Get the game when it's on sale. I think
I will wait until it's $20.
All right.
I think it's worth like 30-ish. But like, yeah, no, I wouldn't pay 60 for this game. I definitely would recommend.
Fuck no.
Especially when they do sales as frequently as they do. Just wait for a price drop.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we feel about Sonic Superstars. We've talked about Super Mario Wonder. That was gonna be our podcast pretty much, and then Sony decided they wanted to do a state of play at the end of January, right?
Okay,
oh boy,
I'm thirsty. I've been coughing.
So, but before we get to that, we've got some usual housekeeping to do. So Landon, you can get up and do your thing while while we do that. Jack, can you do me a favor, because my voice is kind of like shot, and do that for us? We got patron shout outs, we've got social media to talk about.
I'm always unprepared when you ask me to do this.
Even though it's the simplest thing. There's no script involved.
I know, but we have Patreon. We have Discord. We have different Patreon tiers. Subscribe to our $3 tier where you can get exclusive. Well, no, you don't get exclusive content, but you're helping us out. And that's pretty cool. You get to vote on future LPs and stream. Future LPs. You get to vote in polls, future streams, and whatnot.
Even just subscribing at the $3 tier,
you have a voice in the content that you want to see in the future. That is multiple choice curated by us.
We also have a $6 tier, Jack. You should tell them about that too.
There's also the $6 tier where if you subscribe to that, you get access to exclusive content. We have videos that are only available to people who pay to the $6 tier, such as tier lists and other things.
We have a Pathfinder campaign that all of the parts for that are up that you can enjoy. And as
I think that's it.
We have shout outs. We got our two.
Do we?
We do our patron shout outs at the $6 tier now. So we've got 2, and they are the same people as before. We've got Buggy and Pixel. They've been helping out with the extra tier subscription, so we want to thank them specifically. We do, of course, want to thank all the patrons, but those 2 are going the extra mile to help us make this podcast happen for you all every couple of weeks. So thank you to them. And of course, like Jack said, we've got the Discord. Join it. It's free. We don't gatekeep it behind like the Patreon. It's just there. You can find in our descriptions and everything. Just say hi. And
if we were smart, we would.
If we were smart, we would. But we generally don't need to because we don't really get a whole lot of people joining, except for, the people that are already invested in our content, which we appreciate, of course. Yeah, we have a Twitch. We do streams every week, just like this one, but we also actually play games. Jack, you should tell us about the games we play right now on stream.
The games that we play right now on stream, such as The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker HD.
Hey, I'm playing that one.
That's Landon playing that one. Also, such as Apollo Justice Ace Attorney via the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney trilogy.
Hey, I'm in that one.
Hey, Lennon's in that one as well. Cloud's in that one. Lennon is also streaming Dragon Quest 1 right now.
I'm in that one.
You are in that one. We have VODs coming up. I got off my butt and actually scheduled all of the VODs on our channel to go up in the upcoming week. Although I guess if you're listening to this in podcast form, then those are already out by now. But look forward to VODs on our YouTube channel.
Speaking of, by the time the high-quality audio version of the stream goes out, I'm going to make it a point over the next week. I'm going to have the next patron exclusive video content for you guys. And I don't remember if I mentioned it. I think I did in some form. But it is a video game companies tier list. And we have a lot of interesting things to say about some of the people on that, or some of the companies on that list. So I hope that will be up by the time this is out on those other streaming device platforms. So that's the goal. We're gonna have mid-February. So getting back to things, Landon is showing us he has Tillamook, which is very important.
I'm too sick to eat.
He just wants to show us.
So I'm just going to hold this container here for the rest of the podcast.
What is it?
It is the Campfire Peanut Butter Cup ice cream.
Yeah, I remember.
The limited edition. There is more of it out there in the world. I bought one.
I have never not seen that in stores since it came out. It's not very limited.
I was going to say, that doesn't sound very limited to me then.
There was periods of time where I didn't see it. But, yeah. Yeah, Tillamook is great. You'll soon learn that I just give them free sponsorship on this show.
I'm so sad. They don't, the local grocery store that I go to, they stopped doing the Tillamook cheese. Like,
really?
They used okay, I think they actually just pulled it completely. Yeah, so they used to have like both like the sliced cheese and then like other kinds of cheese, and they had a bunch of that, and they gutted those out and they just put more of their own like store brand there. I was like, man, but the Tillamook brand is really good. Like it's good quality for the price. It's like really good quality.
It's worth it. It's the dairy product that I feature in my household. I got my butter, extra creamy, Tillamook. Ice cream, frozen custards, got my Tillamook. My cheeses, get them shredded, get them sliced, Tillamook. Mornings, I have a yogurt. Tillamook.
Zucchini knows Tillamook. Yeah. Zucchini in our Discord chat.
Zucchini's a real one.
Another Tillamook enjoyer. 2 thumbs up for that. So, did we want to get back to our discussion? We've got an additional thing. Sony decided we're going to show off some games, and some of them are interesting, I guess. There's like one announcement here that I care about, but let's just jump in. The first thing that they showed, so I have an article that Landon linked me to from IGN. We're just going to go right down in order of what IGN posted. The first announcement was Death Stranding 2 was shown off, and it has an official title, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach. They had a trailer for it, and they showed off some stuff, and I mean, I wasn't interested in the first Death Stranding, so I'm personally not invested in this. Smash or pass?
Pass, because I haven't really played the first one. I think it's funny that he called the game On the Beach. Knowing Kojima, he 1000% named it after the Neil Young album.
Probably.
I'm gonna pass because I cannot play Strand type games. I'm too baby.
Good enough.
Damn.
And then segueing into the next bit, we had Hideo Kojima ended up basically revealing that he has another project, and this is a new game that is an action espionage game called Physint. That is Physint, and apparently it's supposed to be like this. They alluded to it at the Game Awards recently, and they kind of just much more in depth went into it now. It's supposed to blur the line between video game and film. I don't care, dude. Like, I'm not interested in. I don't know. I feel like the allure of Hideo Kojima making new games is just completely worn off for me.
I kind of just want, like, I don't know. I love Kojima, but like, I feel like sometimes he can be a little bit more style over substance. At least with Death Stranding, anyway. And, like, he's kind of leaning into that right now. And I'd kind of wish he would, like, just go with a substance over style type game, like the Phantom Pain again. But we'll see.
Landon, anything to add?
Beyond hard pass.
All right.
Damn.
Next thing that is listed here is they showed off Rise of the Ronin from Team Ninja.
Pass.
I didn't get to look into it. So I don't have anything to say.
It's an open world
Pass.
action game from Team Ninja. The issue is it comes out on March 22nd, which is Princess Peach Showtime's release date.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah. So this game can fuck right off. I will wait until it's like $5. Thanks.
There was an announcement for a remaster of Until Dawn.
Smash.
So here's the thing. Until Dawn, fantastic game. Great. It looks so good already.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think this was one of the games that like people were like showing comparisons for, and it's like, did we need this remaster?
I'll buy it because it's a good game, and it'll just be, especially if they add like a little bit extra content, rework the story or something. Mostly for Spookfest, but like that's it. Like that's why I'm buying it, is for Spookfest, not for like anything in particular. Like that the game needs it.
The next thing was there's a game being published by Sony and third-party developer Shift Up that is coming out in April on the 26th, which is somebody's birthday, called Stellar Blade. Okay.
I watched the trailer for this one. It's an action game. It looks
interesting.
It kind of looks like, not 100%, but it kind of looks like your Nier Automata, especially like with the story that's being played out, is like Earth is taken over by something, and like you're playing as a character that's coming back to try and save what's left of Earth.
Yeah, I do get those vibes. It's a little bit different, but it's you got like the same shtick.
Yeah. But too bad Sandland comes out on April 26th. Hard pass.
Yep. We got a trailer for Dragon's Dogma 2.
Once again, this game is coming out on March 22nd.
They're just putting these games down the wrong release dates for you.
It's like, I'm looking forward to this because I really enjoyed the original, but I want Princess Peach Showtime so much more. And Princess Peach Showtime is going to be $10 less than this. I can wait until this game is on sale.
Did you have anything to add, Jack?
Nope.
Okay, next one is an announcement that we all actually care about.
Talk about the biggest miss here, folks.
We got Sonic X Shadow Generations announced. That is the name of the game. You cannot make this up. It is Sonic X Shadow Generations. It is a re-release.
It's true. Google Sonic X Shadow to find out.
So it is Sonic Generations is getting a re-release, remaster that adds new content for Shadow the Hedgehog. It's in the same style as like the modern Sonic gameplay, it looks like, but you play as Shadow and it's new levels that are from his past. So you've got stuff like Final Chase. There was a fight with Black Doom that was shown off. There was a fight with the Bio Lizard that was shown off. So we're gonna have stuff important to Shadow coming in here. I'm excited for this, but it's tentative for me because my issue is that we don't know what the price is as of the airing of this podcast. The page is up, but there's no price listing for it. I'm not sure if I want to spend a full retail price on this remaster, but I also am not 100% confident they will price it at that full retail price. And we also don't know when it's coming out besides vague autumn 2024. If it's during a dry period where there's nothing else really exciting that I'm waiting for coming out, I'm probably going to pick this up. But if there's other bigger releases that get announced that I might want, or it's just priced a little too high, I might wait for it. So I don't know. But I mean, I am excited. It's a Generations re-release with new content. Like, I can't be not excited.
I mean, even if the Shadow content sucks, we still have a Generations remaster to look forward to, which is cool. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be $50 when it launches. Because it's a remaster of an old game, which, probably would be $40, but they're adding new content to it. So I think that's going to raise the price a little bit.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Do you think they'll add a $50 gun DLC?
I hope so.
Classic Sonic can run around levels with a gun. Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
So
good.
I listen, all I want is a tiny CRT TV with a GameCube in it, and you can play the entirety of Shadow the Hedgehog inside the game.
I will say, like, my only thing here is that of all the Sonic games that are in this era that could use remasters. I think Generations by itself probably needed it the least. But that said, the new content makes it exciting enough that I am willing to buy it again. And
I think they're just
if you're a console player specifically, like you don't play on PC, this is still good because this hasn't had we haven't seen this game in 2 console cycles now. So like if you're playing on PC, like you already have the original, and the original is just perfectly fine. But if you're just a console player, this is a good chance to get the game because we haven't seen it in 13 years. That's pretty much.
It has been a while.
Lena, did you have any thoughts to add, though?
Buy some Tillamook ice cream.
Buy some Tillamook ice cream.
They are literally not paying me to say that. This is not a sponsored ad section, but you should do it. Just think about it, at least.
I probably should have clarified. Do you have any thoughts about Sonic X Shadow Generations?
Oh! I hope they make kissy faces at each other.
You know, that would be really hot.
That would be too sweet.
Too sweet.
Now, of course, we do have to admit, part of the reason they're probably doing this is an easy way to help drive up hype for Sonic 3, the movie, because that comes out the same year. So they're doing a lot of... I mean, Landon, you mentioned it earlier. They're adding a Shadow skin to Superstars. So they are really trying to drive up hype for, like, Shadow being a thing again.
When was he not a thing?
I mean, he's been kind of taking a little bit of a backseat for a little bit. I mean, he still shows up in, like, different media, but he doesn't play, like, a big part like he used to.
I was gonna say, when was the last time Shadow was a playable character in a Sonic game?
Sonic Forces.
Yeah, he had like 3 levels.
Oh yeah, he was.
But he only had only had like 3 levels.
Okay, but aside from that,
it's been a while. I mean, the last time he was a major factor in a game was
Sonic 06.
Yeah.
Team Sonic Racing.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that, but out of ones with like somewhat standard Sonic gameplay. But yeah, Team Sonic Racing is true too.
Where is my silver Sonic Cross Shadow Cross Silver Generations video game?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. So like, obviously they did it Shadow specifically because of what we mentioned, but like, Shadow already was also in Generations as a boss, as a rival fight, but so were Metal Sonic and Shadow, or Silver. And they just decided that we don't get anything for Metal Sonic or Silver. So that's cool.
I want a Silver.
I want to be Metal Sonic.
Fanfic.
Give me a Metal Sonic skin for modern Sonic in those levels.
And classic Sonic.
Like they did with Metal Sonic in Sonic Adventure. Just give me a skin. Like, that's it. That's all I need. But yeah, Sonic Cross Shadow Generations. And then they showed off Silent Hill, the short message, which is already out. It is free to play spin-off. I don't know. It says Silent Hill.
Pass.
It's weird that they did this. I mean, people are... remember, what was that you were talking about, Jack, about PT, playable teaser, and we still don't have... They're never making that game, and they give us this?
Yeah. Thanks, Konami.
It must suck to be a Silent Hill fan right now.
Yeah, I bet.
Assuming, pass for Landon.
I said pass, yeah.
We got the game Judas, which is made by the same creator of BioShock. I know nothing about this game.
Neat.
It's basically BioShock in space, I believe.
Okay.
So, we'll see.
There was the announcement for a game called V-Rising, which is kind of in the same type of game as the Diablo games.
Pass.
It already was and had been in early access on PC for quite a while now, but It's coming to PlayStation this year. Okay. We got Godzilla announcement for Dave the Diver. There's Godzilla content for quite a bit of things going on, but this was what PlayStation showed off specifically. Landon, do you want to talk about this?
This is cool. This is like,
and I mean,
they didn't really explain what is going to happen, but I don't care. I'll get Dave the Diver now. Thanks.
Yeah.
It's that easy.
I was gonna say, did you want to mention anything else about like Godzilla crossover content while we're here? It's not specific.
Oh.
It's just not specific to the state of play, but it does have relevance because that's why he's here in this announcement.
Yeah, Godzilla is also showing up in Minecraft. Like, you can buy a pack, and it's got a crap ton of. It has a crap ton of Godzilla characters and like stuff in it too.
All right. The next thing that was shown off was a trailer for, God fucking damn it, another game in Hoyoverse called Zenless Zone Zero. Why do they keep... There's so many games coming out from them in the past few years. Stop it. Slow down. Jesus Christ.
Pass.
Yeah, it's whatever. There's a VR trailer for Metro Awakening VR. I don't play VR games.
Pass.
There was another VR game for VR2 called Legendary Tales.
Pass.
Okay. And then the next thing shown off was another trailer for Foam Stars, which is
their Splatoon ripoff.
It looks interesting enough. It does seem like it's kind of like the whole, like, we're not going to talk about this. Maybe in a different podcast, maybe. But it's kind of like the Pal World Pokemon thing, like Foam Stars and Splatoon. Like, it looks like it does have its own thing, but it is so blatantly obvious that they were taking design inspiration and other inspiration from a different existing IP that it's not even funny how obvious it is. That doesn't mean that the game itself is bad. It is blatantly just trying to be this other game style-wise with some different gameplay elements effectively. So, like, I'm interested in trying it, but like, it's not that exciting for me. It's basically like, oh, I can play a game that's kind of like Splatoon on PlayStation now. Neat, I guess. We had another trailer for Helldivers 2. They've been hyping that up quite a bit.
That comes out tomorrow at the time of recording this.
Oh, wow.
It's out on the 8th.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Landon, did you have anything to add about the previous couple things that were mentioned while you were off? There's 2 VR games. No. There's Foam Stars and Helldivers 2.
Fuck no.
And
that's pretty much it.
I was gonna say
that was it.
Oh, they didn't show the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth stuff at the State of Play, did they?
No, that was its own State of Play.
They did a whole separate thing for that. But I mean, we've seen this.
I think they announced the demo.
Yeah. There's a demo.
Yeah.
So I need to download the demo. I need to try the demo. But I mean, it's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We have seen this game like 10 million times already. So if you're interested in the demo, there's a playable demo coming. I think it's out. Pretty sure it's out now. So cool. I'm interested in the release, but I probably won't get it right away just because I haven't even finished Remake yet. I'm still working on it.
So besides Godzilla coming to the David Diver and Sonic Cross Shadow,
this was me.
You know what was way better than all that?
What?
Euphoria the Saga.
Oh yeah,
getting announced.
Totally separate from this. They dropped a sequel announcement for Euphoria of all games The game that
Euphoria 2,
the game that
baby.
you two specifically have been like saying outside shot, begging this game to exist, and apparently it exists.
I don't see what's wrong with this timeline.
I don't see what's wrong with it either. It's just I never expected this to actually happen. And it's funny that you guys were like, we need a new Euphoria game. And they're
literally my only complaint that I've seen with the game so far is that they use the Japanese names for the characters instead of the American ones.
Yeah, so who we know,
which makes
sense.
The
European ones, please. It never came out in America originally.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It's like, which understandable, but at the same time, come on, man. Give us Bop Louie and Shades.
Bop Louie
I don't give a
and
fuck
Shades
about what
are
their
the
actual names
over
are.
in Europe, but unfortunately we're going with the Japanese names, which is like Hebe or Hebe, and then like some other like, you know, more normal sounding names for like
# not my Euphoria.
But I mean, it's cool that we got a new Euphoria game, and I'm pretty sure that Landon is going to want to stream that like as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
Probably. We'll see.
Maybe Redux the first game first.
Well, I'll have to do it illegally, but okay.
True.
So yeah.
It's dead, Jim.
Was there any other like major topics we wanted to touch on outside of what we have here, or do we want to just, you know, do a little bit of catch up and talk about how things are going?
Let's talk about this a little more.
Talk about Tillamook a little bit more. All right.
Tastes better because it's made right. Made with more cream than the other guys.
The other guys.
Smooth.
You know the
rich
brand is
and extra
bold.
creamy.
When a brand is bold when they're like the other guys.
You know, there you go. We talked about it more.
All right.
Hey Jack, what have you been up to?
Hey Lennon.
It's been a couple weeks.
I've been up to... What have I been up to? Let's see. Bethany and I went to Chicago.
Oh wow, cool.
For a show a couple weeks ago. I guess like a week and a half ago. Not a whole lot has happened between then and now, honestly. I went to... No, I guess I was before the last podcast. I forget if I mentioned this in the last podcast or not. We've been watching Free Ren.
Oh,
do you guys know about?
Yes.
Do you guys know about Free Ren?
Dude, I'm on Facebook a little too much. There are so many memes from anime pages about Free Ren. It's like the big thing right now.
I try to avoid it as much as possible because every time I see like too many fucking memes from a particular show, I'm just like, all right, I don't really want to watch this. It's like I still haven't seen Chainsaw Man or Bocchi the Rock because I'm like,
I was gonna say, you know what's
sick
funny?
Of seeing all the goddamn memes.
You know what's funny is my girlfriend's almost the same way. It's not that she sees the memes, it's that she just hates the general hype cycle around a new anime, and it just
absolutely
has to wait and then watches it after. And I'm
100%.
I'm kind of the same way. Like I didn't jump into Attack on Titan until like the first season was already done. Like
I 100% agree with that. Like I think I just want to wait until like fewer people are talking about it. But Free Ren is really fucking good.
I was gonna say
I will say.
I think the thing with anime and like just watching stuff is like there's more of a community experience to it because you're all watching it. You're not interacting with it. So the interaction comes from you interacting with other people that are watching it. With a game, you have direct interaction with the game, so you can get your own experience out of it. Even if other people are playing it alongside you, you'll be able to still have your own experience, but it's different with stuff that you watch, I think. So
yeah,
I'm on a tangent.
But I've been enjoying it a lot. I think it's a great show.
That's good.
Learned after like 3 episodes, I just like looked out of curiosity what the It's My Anime List rating was. It's currently number 1 of all time on the website.
That's insane. It beat Gintama?
Above and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yeah, because like those were the 2 big ones. Like there was one series of Gintama that overtook Full Metal Alchemist, and then Full Metal Alchemist like bounced back, and like they've gone back and forth. Brotherhood. I will check.
That's
crazy. Frieren beat them both?
Yeah, it is ranked number 1. It has a 9.14.
Okay. I'm gonna wait till it's over, but I'm gonna try and get to it when it's over.
Bethany got me into it. I normally like to wait until a season is over at the very least before I start something, but we've been going at it slow enough that we haven't like caught up yet. So I'm on like episode 13-ish. I haven't really been up to too much else lately. It's pretty much just been that. In terms of new stuff anyway.
I didn't have time to go get it, so I'm just going to say it. I'm not going to be able to really show it off, but whatever. So a couple of things that I've been doing. I think I had said this on the last podcast because I had just started it, but I'm really digging deep into Bravely Default on 3DS. I had only played like less than 10 hours back in 2014, so I knew it had potential. I just never got to like really play it, and I'm like near the end of chapter 3 now. Like I'm pretty close to the end of chapter 3. I'm almost 30 hours in, and there is so much more of this game to go. This game is long, and I'm excited though, but I am cautious because I know I've heard some pretty bad things about the last third of the game or so. But I mean, I still have quite a ways to go before that. So it's really nice that I'm enjoying the game this much, and there's still so much more to play. I've been working on a few videos for my solo channel, so I've got a couple of things that are going on there. As of the making of the airing of this episode, I'm just about to finish a new video that's going to be out in a day or 2. So that should be up by the time this is out on other audio services, so that's cool. So what else? My tax returns have been coming in, so I am revamping some stuff. I need to get a new webcam. I'm thinking about getting a new webcam that'll be like a bit better quality. I got some other new stuff. Like right here behind me, I have my old TV because I have a new TV now. So that's pretty baller.
Nice.
My girlfriend and I watched an anime called RPG Real Estate, which was kind of like this tacky, like these like girls work for a real estate agency, but it's like isekai-ish sort of, and like the girl just works for a real estate agency, and it's like kind of like moe style, and it's got some weird moments, but I mean it's kind of cute overall. It's nothing special. It's just kind of like one of those like put it on and it's pretty enjoyable, a little weird, but overall, pretty just enjoyable way to just waste a little bit of time. And then we just started earlier an anime called Time for Your quote-unquote torture princess, which is like this weird like I've only watched 2 episodes, but like basically there's this like princess who was like fighting these monsters in a war with her nation behind her, and somehow off screen she was captured, thrown in prison, and they torture her by having people enjoy things like food and video games in front of her, and then she wants to play the video games and eat the food, and they let her when she confesses like information that can be used to get a leg up on her nation. And it's the dumbest thing. Like the first episode, there was like a slice of buttered toast, and they pulled it out of an Iron Maiden, and then like the woman that's like trying to torture her just takes the toast and just starts very slowly ripping it, and you get like ASMR sounds, and like this character is just like absolutely losing it because she wants the toast, and it's the stupidest thing. Like, I sat through the couple episodes where like 5 or 6 different scenarios like this happen. There's a point where they're playing a knockoff of Super Smash Brothers in front of her, and then they let her play Super Smash Brothers in her prison cell. Like, I don't know what this show is. It's weird, but like it's kind of funny. I was enjoying it so far. But yeah,
sounds dumb.
It is dumb. It's absolutely
Good.
dumb. I'm not saying it's not dumb. It's dumb. It's super dumb. But it's enjoyable. It's fun.
Hell yeah.
It's the kind of thing that I can definitely like when I want to just watch something dumb that feels like a good option to go to.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I've been watching some anime here and there, so I think I'm gonna try and look into Frieren now that you're mentioning it. Bravely Default, working on solo videos. I don't have them to show off. They're in a bag in the other room, but I bought Super Mario RPG, finally. I have to get to it.
Hell yeah.
I have been excited. I think we're probably going to need to do a review on this one.
Does that mean I have to actually play the new one?
Yes.
I'm gonna play it soon, because I heard it's short. Mario RPG is not a long game, so I'm definitely going to try and get to it in between sessions of doing all my other stuff. And I'm going to be getting a new phone because my current phone, it gets really hot when I'm charging it sometimes. And
that's spicy.
And that scares me a little bit. This phone is 3 years old, so it does need... So maybe I just mishandled it a little bit at some point, and now the charging is just...
Now, question. Do you have Pokemon Sleep turned on when you are charging your phone?
I don't even have it installed on my phone.
It's important that you do.
I know. I'm the Pokemon nut, and I have even Pokemon Go and Pokemon Home on my phone, but I don't have Pokemon Sleep.
You should think about installing it and letting it run while you charge your phone. It'll probably improve the experience.
Just as an experiment, after I get my new phone in, just see how this fares with Pokemon Sleep installed.
Yeah. It'd be funny.
That's what's new with me. I kind of rambled on a little bit. Landon, what's new with you?
I have a cat attacking me right now. Get out of here.
You do have a cat attacking you.
I bought a case. This is a case. There's no game in this one.
Nice.
What's the Luminous Arc?
What?
Someone bought me the game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I got you the 2 Luminous Arc games, but they didn't come with cases.
Yeah, and I got the case for the second one. It's downstairs already.
Nice.
I got this.
Kirby Superstar Ultra.
Yeah.
That has a game in it. I started playing this.
Another Code Recollection.
That one's fun.
Cool.
I'm reading more Jujutsu Kaisen. I finished volume 10 the other day. I'm like at the start of the Shibuya incident arc, whatever it is.
I've seen season 1 and the movie. I still need to watch season 2.
Okay, yeah. The shit I'm reading is in season 2, basically.
Okay.
I don't watch anime anymore.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised you're watching this or reading this.
No,
I'm surprised you're reading the manga. Do you read more manga than that too? Besides like stuff I'm probably expecting.
I've been reading the Dragon Ball Super stuff. I read Sakamoto Days on and off. I read through all of the first major arc of Chainsaw Man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that was a bit ago. So if you want to read the first 11 volumes of Chainsaw Man, I have them.
Cool.
I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Yeah, so Jujutsu Kaisen's been sort of more of an off than on read, but because I have the Meta Sales app thing that lets me get gift cards, and I got a $50 Barnes & Noble gift card. I ordered like 6 more volumes of Jujutsu Kaisen, so I'm like,
nice.
Guess I'm gonna be reading more. So yeah. And then as far as other things I've been playing, it's just really been Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, which I am in chapter 7, like just after the halfway point of that, which means I'm in the second half of the game. I'm like where the major incident is occurring. Like they're gearing up for the major trial of the back half of the game. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Stuff that we did. I went to see The Lion King. Was that? Did I mention that? Was that?
No, because I remember...
I don't think so.
I remember in the last podcast you said that you hadn't really been able to do much of anything because of being snowed in with weather.
Okay, so yeah, we went and took Kari's niece and nephew to go see The Lion King the musical.
Okay.
Yeah, which I'd seen before, like a long time ago as a kid, but it was cool to see it again in a more updated fashion. Yeah, that was good. And then we went to a wedding this last Sunday, and they had an open bar, and we drank a lot. It was fun. My favorite bit that happened was they said during a toast in reference to the couple that was getting married, name a more dynamic duo. And so I was sitting there at my table, and I just said, Batman and Robin. Not, like, out loud to where the whole, wedding procession could hear me, but, so the people at my table could hear me.
Damn.
And they all glared at me, because...
I mean,
name a more dynamic duo than these two chuckle fucks that are getting married? Alright. The dynamic duo. How's that?
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should
right.
be. My eye twitched a little in my head. The fact that they said dynamic duo and not iconic.
That's what they said.
I'm just like, that's not.
Even if they said iconic duo, I probably would have also said Batman and Robin. There's one. Yeah. So yeah, there's been a little bit of that. I've been watching some more Pokemon Nuzlocke because part of me wants to do one.
Any particular Nuzlocke that you were enjoying?
It's been a lot by Flygon HG.
He does some good ones.
He does a lot of great ones. It's been like a mix of his content. Has been what I've been watching.
Have you ever watched any from Chaotic Meatball?
No.
I think you'll like him because he pokes fun at the fact that Pokemon fans don't seem to realize there's other RPG series. He did a whole bit in one video where he actually just starts saying names of other RPGs, and then they just pile on in an echo. So but he does he does Nuzlocke on different. He's been doing a franchise Nuzlocke where he can't use anything from the previous games, and he's been building on that across the entire franchise. And then he's got some other Nuzlocke on the side where he's Nuzlocke bootlegs and other weird stuff. So I mean, I think you'd probably like him specifically. I don't really think there's anybody else that I know of that does Nuzlocke up that might be up your alley, but he's definitely one. Okay.
Well, maybe I'll remember to check it out. But
yeah,
Flygon, it was one of the ones that I watched during COVID.
Yeah,
and so
and he just has
the
a
algorithm.
lot of content.
He does, and it's a lot of good stuff. I like his highlights channel is really fun too because he's got he's got good streams. I don't watch it live, but I like watching the highlights.
Yeah,
and it's fun to watch him build teams, especially in the ROM hack games that he does, and pick it apart. And I've seen PK challenges every once in a while too. I've seen some of Jan's Nuzlocke, but yeah. Like, most of the Nuzlockes I watch are usually end up being Flygon.
Well, considering you've been getting into watching that kind of content, I'm definitely interested in the next time you actually tackle a Nuzlocke, because, I mean, you're going to have all that background to work off of, too.
Yeah.
Just general knowledge.
The last 2 Nuzlockes I did, I've been I had watched Nuzlockes before, too, so, like, I had a lot about that, but, like, a lot of the ones I've been watching have been, like, Heart Gold, Soul Silver ones, too, so...
Nice.
Maybe that's what I'll do.
Maybe.
We'll see. Who knows? Not even I know.
All right. So, we've been at it for quite a bit. This was quite a variety episode, since there was just so much stuff we wanted to talk about. Originally, it was supposed to just be 2 reviews, and then a thing got thrown in. So, just a nice bonanza episode. Thank you all for joining. We've got more stuff in the future. Roll our outro, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the GamingStooges Talks Podcast. If you enjoyed us, consider subscribing to our podcast RSS feed, or follow us on youtube.com/GamingStooges and twitch.tv/GamingStooges for more gaming content. If you'd like to chat with us, join our Discord. The link can be found in the episode description. We also want to thank all of our Patreon supporters. Your continued support means a lot to us. Not already one? Please take a look at what we have to offer anyone who becomes a patron at patreon.com/GamingStooges. See you next time!